Guys, okay, you saw the intro. Like, what even is there to say here at this point? I mean, I can't believe that this is still a debate that we're having in 2024. This is why I've got to the point in life, like, when you're younger, I feel like you kind of want to actually give this stuff a chance and give people a chance, and you believe in them, you think they're genuine. You don't want people to hate them or hate on them, right? So you try to give people the benefit of the doubt. You think they're going to be honest and good people. And then you see stuff like this. And you call it out as unfair, but what do the respondents do? They want a name call you transphobic, gaslight you, all of this ridiculous stuff. Okay, so you got this transgender person, man says they're a woman. In this case, it sounds like teenage male, says they believe they're a teenage girl, teenage female. They cook, smoke, they beat the freaking brakes off of these girls in this 200-meter track meet. Okay, they beat the heck out of them horrifically. This was terrible. Okay, this was horrendous. And you still got people out here acting like, oh, it's no big deal. Like, it's totally fair. I'm like, what in that world? Like, what world are we living in? When people say this is a clown world, I mean, this got to the point of being worse than clown world. It's worse than Cuckoo for Cocoa Puff world. This is freaking Looney Tune levels of ridiculousness. The amount of ridiculous this is off the charts. Let's take a quick look at the article here. Okay, high school track event makes decision on transgender runner. Okay, this is from thespun.com. All right, so apparently they had to make a decision on this at some point. It doesn't, I read this whole article already. It doesn't say when they made the decision, but I'm guessing it was before this run happened. They might make a different decision now, or at least they should. Okay, it says a high school track and field meet in Oregon allowed a transgender runner to compete in the women's field over the weekend. Aayden Gallagher, a sophomore at McDaniel High School, made a strong showing. A strong showing?
Got your ass whooped tonight.
That's how you described this. This was a massacre, bro. This was not a strong showing. This dude cooked, smoked these girls. He made a fool of them. And I bet you he made them feel hopeless. As if there's just nothing they could do. It doesn't matter how hard you train. Some dude's going to show up, put a wig on, and you're done. You're cooked. It's over. Aayden made a strong showing at the Sherwood Need for Speed Classic in Sherwood, Oregon over the weekend. Yes, Aayden, you sure did. The transgender runner finished in second place in the 200-meter dash in the women's category. It didn't look like second place to me, but I think there's something, you know, I don't know if it was like multiple parts to it or what it was. She also competed in the 400-meter dash, 100-meter relay, and 400-meter relay. Video of the competition has gone viral. I mean, you can say that again. Let's take a quick look. I mean, bro. This
out very well. For Gallagher and McDaniel in lane 2.
This person is like seconds ahead of them. This is not normal at all. And the person don't even look like they breaking a sweat. They just cruising on in.
Gallagher,
look how many. That's like a 5-second lead.
25-49.
Look, now they just now passing. Bro, look how tired they look. This person kept going. Aayden kept going. Don't even look tired. Look. Like, that was easy. Look at the face. Like, that was free. Come on, bro. It says, don't believe your eyes. This is from Not the Bee. It's like a Babylon Bee spoof account or something. Don't believe your eyes. There is no physical advantage that trans athletes have over their competition. That's a myth. Math nerds win 200-meter competition by 5 seconds all the time. Completely normal. Oh, yeah, I guess they're saying math nerds. I don't know if it's because Aayden wore glasses or something. They're saying it's a math nerd. So they're saying it's not even a fast male. It's like a nerdy male on top of that was still able to cook these women. Okay. And this is what the Oregon School Activities Association had to say about their transgender policy. Okay, the association endeavors to allow students to participate for an athletic or activity program of their consistently asserted gender identity.
Well, that ain't right.
While providing a fair and safe environment for all students. BS, man. Here's the thing about this stuff. Once you get to the point where the biological women are getting screwed over, it's not really fair anymore. Now what they're doing is they're picking on who in their mind is like the most marginalized group, and they're literally picking a side. They're like, well, we think the transgenders are technically more marginalized right now, so we're just gonna go with it because that's kind of the woke thing to do. It's dumb, it's stupid, and it really needs to be called what it is. Continuing, rules such as this one promote harmony and fair, seriously, competition among member schools by maintaining equality and eligibility and increase the number of students who will have an opportunity to participate in interscholastic activities. I mean, inevitably, if I was a woman, a real biological woman born that way, I mean, I would probably just quit or go to a different school or something. I mean, the thing is, I don't really know how you get out of this stuff. Like, if the school makes a decision, what if you go to another school and then they make the same decision? You see what I'm saying? Maybe you got to go to like a private school, a Christian school. But even then, if you're talking about like there's organizations, whole organizations responsible for like getting these events together. So let's say you're trying to compete at like the highest level, and then they just see some dude just beats you. Like, let's say, you know, multiple schools are competing against one another. Even if you go to a different school, you still can't get out of this. You still got to compete against Aayden and whoever else. You know, how long before you run into a problem where it's mainly just men that have the gender identity of a woman, and then that's the only people that's really competing as women anymore? It's not, it just doesn't make sense. And I know I've heard the critics say, well, this doesn't happen that often. BS. Since when do we have to wait until a problem is widespread just across the nation, just transgender men just cooking women in every sport constantly? Since when do we have to wait until that happens in order to really try to correct course here? Like, that's like that's like at your job, you keep telling supervisors, there's a problem here, and they're like, I mean, it's not that big of a deal. And then next thing you know, it's such a big problem, they end up getting fired. Whole departments or half the department get fired, right? A bunch of trouble, a bunch of drama. Now everybody's working twice as hard, twice as many hours to try to fix the problem that they could have fixed easily if they would have worked on along the way. It's the same type of logic here. Before, people allowed a lot of this weird stuff, honestly, calling it how it is, to kind of take root. And now you see what happens when it's ignored, when you let people gaslight you. So I say no to all of this stuff. Okay, if anybody wants to, you know, be a transgender person, they want to switch their gender identity, they could do that. But as it relates to like all of the sports and, you know, all of this stuff about it being included in everything, effectively, a lot of this stuff is a mental illness. It's a delusion. And once it gets to the point of impacting things like sports, it just doesn't make sense anymore. Like, it's like, no, you can feel however you want to feel. You can request that your pronouns be used. Nobody should have to use them, but you can request that your pronouns be used. If people want to use them to be polite, they can. If people don't and they want to be impolite, then they should have the right to do that. But as it relates to the sports, hell no. This is ridiculous. This stuff needs to be stopped. And I hope that whatever needs to happen in regard to people getting in office, this is why, again, I'm voting conservative. A lot of this stuff, many would argue, is of the devil. It's not supported religiously. I'm a Christian. And yes, I do believe in my faith. A lot of this stuff is absolutely not supported by the Christian faith. And yet a lot of people will try to argue me down being a black male as if I'm somehow betraying my blackness, my black cause being revoked because I don't support the Democrats who are staunch supporters of this gender ideology nonsense. I don't support none of this stuff whatsoever, with the exception of you do whatever you want to do and leave me the hell out of it. That's as far as I go. Like, it's really that simple. All of this sports stuff, no, I don't support none of this. I know that there's been some other stuff like Riley Gaines with the swimming and stuff like that. I mean, you see this, any sport that women play, you see stuff like this happening. There's tons of videos like this. I haven't made a ton of them, but there's tons of them, tons of instances of this happening. And I don't think that it should. People need to wake the hell up, stop the nonsense, stop trying to capitulate to these crazy people's feelings. Even a lot of transgender people, if you know transgender people, which I do, I actually don't know anybody in real life who's transgender who actually supports this. So people trying to act like it's transphobia and all of that stuff, nonsense. You're not going to gaslight me. You're not going to guilt trip me. This is wrong. You know it. And a lot of y'all weirdos out there who, the weirdos being the people who do support this, you need to be stopped. And you will be with legislation. We're going to get Trump in office. We're going to get as many Republican governors, as many Republican mayors, or anybody who has more traditional values to stop all of this nonsense from pretty much destroying all of the facets of America. Women's sports already struggles as is, and we don't need it to go any further downhill from here. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate y'all watching the Black Anomaly Rising channel. I'm out.
Look out when he storms